Well, T, we are finally here.
I'm excited.
Ready to bring our new iteration of content to the independent contract world, the restaurant industry as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we got a pretty solid crew of guests here to kick it off, right? We got the two founders of DeliverThat, Aaron and John, both here. They joined us in the office, sat on that couch right over there, had a pretty good back and forth. I think usually we're trying to stick to these being around like 25 to 30 minutes. I think we went for like 45 just with them. So,
Yep.
I mean, as this first episode gets rolling here, I mean, what we're really trying to do is bring as much value to the individuals who are going to be viewing this podcast. That's you guys, the gig drivers, the independent contractors, the restaurant managers, catering sales managers, whoever's really going to be viewing this. We're just trying to do this for you guys and really create a streamlined communication channel here and give you guys as much information as possible that we feel is pertinent to our daily lives.
Yeah, I mean, there's no better way to kick off the podcast, with DeliveringMore, with DeliverThat, than with the ones who kicked off DeliverThat as a company. And I mean, if you are interested in starting your own company, if you work with us, you work for any gig job, this is going to have some information in it that you're going to want to hear this specific episode, and then also this podcast as a whole. So definitely just stay tuned. Check this out. I know this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, this is going to be a great one. And yeah, I'm sure we'll discuss it here after these guys view it, and we'll get into a little bit more of what's actually discussed in the interview. So thank you guys for joining us for episode 1 of DeliveringMore, and let's get into the interview.
Let's get after it. I'm excited.
All right, T. So we got some pretty big time guests here in the building, right?
Yeah. Somewhat big time,
I would love to introduce these guys. I'm sure they'll be able to introduce themselves here. We've got our CEO and CPO, the founders of the company, Aaron and John. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Welcome, guys.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we love it.
Finally happening.
Yeah. We got the ball rolling, in July? This might even end up coming out in 2022. So, I mean, it's been a long time coming, but
Hell yeah, man.
I'm happy we're here.
Yeah, cool.
Let's, I guess, obviously, we're doing this for our independent contractors, right? And the gig workers. It's why we're all in the building, why we do what we do. Let's give them a little brief history, right, of how DeliverThat came to be. So I'm going to try and paint a little picture here for you guys, see if I can, bring up some memories. So I think we're going back to 2013. You're in Athens, Ohio. It's a cold, wintry day. You're on South Green, I believe at the time, maybe even front 4.
Yeah.
You're sitting in a dorm room together. From there, what is the catalyst that brought this idea and then in turn company to fruition?
Well, go ahead, man. I'll take credit on the story, but of course, the whole idea was his. But basically, what happened, we were asked to go get food for a couple friends, and as we're walking to the dining hall, he looks at me and says, "I think people would pay for this." And I agreed, but it was also freezing. We didn't have a car on campus, so I was like, "Well, I just thought about the next step, and I was like, well, I don't want to do that, right? Because I'm running around,
climbing up and
just
down.
to provide some context, we were sophomores, okay, at Ohio University. If you know Ohio University, it's a lot of extracurricular activities to do down there, particularly go to the bars and stuff like that. Okay, so mind you, we were college students. He was an engineering student, and I was pre-med. And neither of us had any business intellect whatsoever. And it was a relatively simple concept. Was like, people would pay for us to deliver them food. And we like, okay, well, people would probably pay for other things to get delivered. Textbooks, groceries.
They'll pay a chunk of change not to walk up and down Morton Hill. I'll tell you that right now.
But it did start with food. That was the original.
It started with dining hall food.
Okay.
Yeah, and our first customer ordered Chipotle. Yeah, so if you're familiar with OU, we started this in my dorm room at Adams Hall. It was like the very top floor. It's the 4th floor, $60 in cash. And you can just imagine 2 college students running around campus doing delivery. We didn't accept credit cards. We didn't know what the heck we were doing. We just knew that there was a need at Ohio University for things to be delivered. Mind you, this is when there wasn't on-demand delivery companies at college campuses.
Right. Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a Twitter account, right, that kind of is like what the real catalyst was? You guys like woke up one day and had like
Oh.
thousands of followers, like
Yeah.
thousands of comments, like seeing what was going on.
Yeah, well, because we were studying for an exam that night. And when we were at the library, went to the dining hall, and we came back. We're like, well, let's just make a Twitter and a Facebook and just see what happens. So we just did that instead of studying. And then Monday rolls around. So that was Thursday. Monday rolls around. We had 3,000 followers. President of the university saying, yes, it's a great idea. Everyone follow these guys.
Yeah, man.
And we were like reaching out to the other big accounts. They're like campus accounts. And they kept just retweeting everything we did. And then we just were like, oh shit.
It's like, how can you not at this
I
point?
mean, Ben,
right?
you went to High University. I mean, dude, you know how clutch it was to get things delivered. I mean, the students loved it.
Yep.
I mean, there was a point in time where I was utilizing the drivers not for food delivery,
yeah.
but to just basically taxi me around the campus. Like I was going from my apartment to Ping? That was the gym called?
Gym.
I was going from my apartment to Ping.
Yeah.
I forget what his name is. I wish I could remember his name, but I literally would text him every morning and be like, hey man, you got any deliveries today? If he said yes, he'd be like, all right man, scoop me up on the way.
Wow.
I did it every
Brilliant
single
way.
day.
Yeah.
Every single day.
So
And
then
everything was cash. So.
how much of it was like it just falling into your lap as much as you guys actually trying to execute the business idea?
Well, the idea and the marketing fell into our lap, and then everything else was very difficult.
It was a completely different business model,
Right.
different consumer, different I mean, everything pretty much was. I mean, the quality of the driver was different. Mind you, right now we're doing, the upper echelon of delivery. These $1,000, $2,000 deliveries. We were delivering burritos to college students back then. It doesn't matter what the driver looked like, what the car looked like.
Yeah. I mean, there was a girl who lived across the street from Chipotle who would order multiple times a week.
Wow.
Across the street.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the customers are very
we still
different.
see that.
Oh yeah.
We still see that.
Actually,
Oh yeah. And so
that customer still exists.
Yeah, I mean they're using their parents' money to basically fund our business at the time, and it was lucrative. We did make money doing it. It helped me pay for school.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big blessing, and we ultimately did expand it to other college campuses. But what we found was you could run a delivery company relatively easily with little knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And Jim, let's if we can, let's get a picture of the old mascot in here. If we can get that thrown up. I'm pretty sure that mascot toured multiple campuses, possibly even got kicked off campuses at times, I believe.
Dayton definitely kicked us out of.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll fast forward. So in 2016, we started it in 2013.
Right.
In 2016, we graduated. Okay. We got our degrees somehow from OU, graduated on time. I graduated like a 2.3. I'm not the brightest guy out there. But I'm extremely hardworking, and I don't really care of the public perception of me. So like when I'm throwing this costume on, it was basically me running around these campuses during the middle of class. Oh, I remember, yeah.
Well, we would time it up when class would end, and then he would just take off.
So I was just the guy that I would do whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I was
just get it out there.
Got kicked off of campuses. We launched Kent State, we launched Ohio State University. Launched Miami University, and we were on these campuses as graduates trying to build this business, and there was just no traction.
None. You
just could not get traction. It was too hard to fight with. At this time, other apps, other gig economy platforms
had come up.
Were rolling out. So you had DoorDash on campuses. You had other type of campus delivery, style businesses. So it was extremely competitive, and it was challenging, and ultimately it led to the pivot.
Right. And so, let's get to the pivot then, obviously. So around 2016, you guys are both back in Canton, Ohio, seemingly taking on-demand style delivery still, and then no free ads, but a Ruby Tuesday encounter happens, and next thing you know, we're in the catering business, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, yeah. We were just striking out back at home, and the app that we got developed it was tough to use. It wasn't the best,
It was not good.
Right.
It was not good.
We didn't know anything about technology. So knowing what we know now, it's like we definitely didn't go in depth enough with the developers.
I think I tried to place a DPDO delivery like over 10 times and just couldn't figure out. I wanted to put like special delivery instructions on it and just couldn't figure out how to do it. So I was just like, all right, I'm not doing it.
I mean, it would say error. It would say unknown error. So no one would know what they did wrong. We didn't know what they did wrong.
It was not good.
So so we had that, and that was very difficult, but we were getting some orders. And we rolled into Ruby Tuesday, and they're like, there's a line of caterings on the side. They're actually just in all the tables. And the guy's like, I don't really care about your on demand. We can do it. We can try it. Whatever.
Yeah, because we were pitching the on demand to Ruby
Trying to
Tuesday.
get them-
Oh yeah, we're trying to
Oh.
get restaurants to get behind it, so we could do it. We just weren't going to give up. And he's like, "Well, I need actual help with this. This is my problem. If you guys solve this, I can pay you some money." And I just imagined the drivers that we had doing on demand taking those huge deliveries, and I got scared. I was like, "Well, I don't trust any of my drivers with that. So how? I don't even know what I'm doing there." So it was very close to saying no, because I just didn't want to do that hurdle or deal with that challenge.
Had to, yeah.
But it was two starving businessmen who made no money.
Yeah.
Living in
I was
my
say
dad's
possibly
basement,
living back
man.
at home at the time.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
we didn't pay ourselves, man. We made no money.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I'm gonna take this catering delivery to make some money, to at least I can put it back into the business later on. And we took that delivery, and wow, was it an eye opener? Wow, because for just a little bit of professionalism, the extra effort, setting the order up, being courteous and friendly, dressing somewhat appropriate, business casual.
Right.
Looking just presentable. You're not delivering to a college student. You're delivering to, offices and that's such. It was so easy. I hate to say that, but it was very easy. And then we had a signed receipt, and the customer left us a nice gratuity, and we looked at each other and we were like, "Holy crap!" How do we just take that idea of that one Ruby Tuesday, spread it all over Canton, Ohio, then to Northeast Ohio,
Right.
then to all of Ohio, and then just keep expanding outward, which is what we ultimately did. And
That's
we always had that driver first mentality, because at our core, that's what John and I really are. We are drivers.
Mm-hmm.
That's really it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say not 95% of the company. Realistically, I think a lot of us started as drivers. I know I did. I know
Sure.
T's taken a ton of deliveries. I
Yeah.
know Darian, Christian, Jim over
Oh,
here. Dan has
Oh,
taken 1 million deliveries.
Mhm.
I mean, everyone here
Yeah.
has.
Yeah.
So we got into catering, and man, our first few customers, like it was a grind. I mean, we were driving from Cleveland to Pittsburgh, Cleveland to Columbus, Cleveland to Cincinnati,
Wow.
taking literally catering deliveries this far, because we just fought, man. We were scrappy.
Right.
Well, we knew if a couple of these restaurants had this problem, it would probably be magnified or increased, tenfold if you go to a big city. Like, okay, well, if Ruby Tuesdays is pumping out 5,
Yeah. In
Caterings
Canton, Ohio.
what is someone doing in LA
Yeah.
or Atlanta
Right.
or Vancouver? I mean,
Just
you have people who just run their whole operations based off catering. They close the store down when they're done because they made all their money.
yeah.
It
It was just that fell in our lap, but we were smart enough to realize, we needed to pivot, or else it was going to be very challenging.
and it was tough.
Survive.
It was tough to let go of that app because we paid a lot of money for it.
For sure.
And there was some other payment that happened for
we
it.
went into debt with our.
Yeah.
We went into debt. I mean,
Yeah. So that was a tough decision, but that's where the money was coming in. So money wasn't coming in with the on demand, right?
And obviously that was, I'm sure there's a lot of times that come up, like you were just saying, that were very difficult. But
Mhm.
I mean, the reality of the situation is you guys saw a problem that needed fixed, and you executed it even when there seemed like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. And I feel like that could be inspiring for a lot of people out there that could hear this, just to see that, against all adversity, you still overcame and still became, what we are today and what we're growing to be.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, I hope people see that. And if, there's an idea that they're willing to,
pursue
I don't
it.
know, they're thinking about, or they actually see a problem out there, that if you bring value to that problem, you'll get paid. It's usually how it works. And
yeah.
if the problem's big enough, then
But it doesn't mean it's easy.
no, definitely
No.
not.
Right.
Yeah.
no.
It's really
We
never
didn't-
just been easy.
Yeah, we
Like
didn't.
the marketing side in college, that was easy because it was Twitter. We had a nice following, but executing there was tough. Executing here is tough. It's still tough.
It got really difficult. There's 2 times it got really difficult. Okay. One was actually just getting the ball rolling, and 2 was scaling it. Once you knew you had a concept that worked and you were actually providing the value needed, it was scaling it. How can you take it from Ohio to the Midwest to the East Coast, and just like we are today, we're in, 2 countries. I mean, we're in basically every city in the United States. So that was a challenging part, was scaling it as well.
And I know as much as you guys say, it's challenging or, things get difficult. I know a lot of times if you believe in yourself, right, and you believe in the business, which I know both of you do wholeheartedly, and I know you two are some of the most determined individuals I've encountered in my life. So, are there specific whys or reasons that you guys are so willing to put in? I don't know how many hours you guys put in a week, but it's probably still more than I do a lot of weeks. Probably still more than Tristan does a lot of weeks, realistically. So, is there things that you felt initially that really drove you guys to just, get to that light at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah, for me, in college, my eyes opened. So money was a big driver in college, right? Like,
Always,
okay, well, I don't want to work, at Subway, and I don't know. For me, I wasn't really a bartender type, so I was like, okay, well, I want to make money somehow, and this to me would work out really well. And I remember him and I went to the gym one time, and it was the first time that we actually didn't have to really do any of the deliveries. Went to the gym and left. And while we were working out, we made money. And I was like, holy shit, this is different.
Wow.
I don't think a normal job is in my path. And that was one of the main reasons where I was like, wow, money isn't just a linear thing where it's if I trade time for money, I could actually just put in a lot of effort and create a lot of value and get paid that way. I like that a lot more. And then I always wanted to help people, but I didn't really know what to do. I was looking at, like volunteering on farms and I don't know, doing all types of stuff and all over the world.
Humane Society action.
Just looking at all different types of things because I wasn't getting like gratitude from anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then now we get to help thousands of people every single week put food on their table, and that to me is a huge piece at the moment. Just continuing to actually help people. And then we have internal employees that we're helping build careers. I think it's also cool. So now it's just helping people.
Yeah. And I mean, so obviously it's grown and, like you said, it's helped a lot of people all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
So now that we are where we are and you've experienced so much and grown so much, what do you think the most important piece is for DeliverThat? Is it technology? Is it drivers? What piece is the most important?
I'll let you answer that one.
It's our secret sauce.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not going to give away what that actually is. It's not technology. Anyone can build tech. But I will sum it up with this. We have an identity as a company. And if we ever lost that identity, we wouldn't survive. We're not the first company to ever do last mile delivery. We're not a tech-centric company. What we have is we are drivers. We understand this industry from a driver's perspective, and we understand it. To my knowledge, like no other business does. And you guys probably understand that, knowing how deep and narrow we get on some of these topics when we discuss drivers.
Yeah, I've had goosebumps through this whole conversation.
Yeah, every single aspect of it. So, it's definitely keeping our identity. And if we do that, the rest will fall into place.
You hear the horror stories from drivers, from other companies and all this other stuff. And if we stick to what we know and what we're good at.
There's a reason why we have one of our biggest departments here, specifically for drivers. Like if you're a driver, you can call our hotline right now and vent to somebody if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
If you had a bad day, whether it's on delivery or not, had a bad delivery experience. We just don't treat people like numbers. They're regular people like John and myself that have goals, that have bills to pay. They've got priorities. They've got dependents.
For sure.
So
I think, like you said, the business we have created or you guys created isn't some, landmine world changing idea, right? Like Aaron said, it's been done before. It's being done by other individuals. It's realistically, what else can we bring to the table that changes the experiences that these individuals are having on our platform? And then also with these restaurants, with these customers and day in and day out. And I think, like we've obviously all touched on at all times, it really just comes down to what opportunities are we providing for the drivers. And I think for me, it's who's sticking up for these people, right? There has to be some company who has these drivers' best interests at hand. And there's obviously times where drivers call in and think we don't. And I understand that from their vantage point. I've been in a situation where you think you might be getting the wool pulled over your eyes, or you think this gratuity might have not been transferred to you directly or something like that. But we're in such a place in our company where everything's so transparent what we do with these drivers. We have our calls, our texts, the order information is listed up and down everywhere. Everything we do, like Aaron said, you can call in, you can talk to someone. We have individuals in this office who have 30-minute conversations with drivers, whether it be about the delivery process, it be about their actual life, about their family, they're having kids, they're moving houses, they need a mortgage. There's so many things where at this point in time, this business, it's about delivery, and that's what, keeps the cash flow. But realistically, like you guys have said, that bringing the opportunity to these drivers and these people and changing other people's lives realistically, as I think, really what this business is about at the end of the day at this point, at least to me.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And since we're talking about this, obviously we're getting at the idea of contractors and things like that. And we want to be beneficial to contractors. That's the kind of the goal of our business. So at running a business in this industry, do you guys have any advice or, let me put it this way. We really look at contractors like they're running their own business, right? They just have a platform as a resource because they're their own individuals and they're independent. This independent contractor, that's the whole idea. So what advice would you have being in this industry and running this business for the contractors to maximize their day, optimize their potential?
Oh yeah. I would say treat it like it's your own business. Don't treat it as like you have a boss, where you're getting our permission for everything, or you're looking for, permission on anything really. It's, hey, treat this like it's your job, take advantage. You have tax breaks. There's tons of other things that you could take advantage of. But yeah, I would take it serious. We have drivers making quite a bit of money because they've just decided to take this one a little more serious than the next, right? If you're doing multiple gigs. So use us. Use whatever we've built to your advantage.
And I'll piggyback off with you because I agree with what he's saying, obviously. But if you're one of our drivers, the first thing I'm going to tell you is, are you maximizing your earning potentials with DeliverThat? There are companies out there that only have one or two customers. And if you're a driver, you need to view us like, we're paying, we're one of your customers, So maybe you only need one. Maybe you need 5. Maybe you need 10. Maybe you're on different platforms. So whatever pays the bills and ultimately lets you chase your dreams, lets you reach your goals, makes you feel fulfilled. You guys asked our why. I didn't get a chance to say it, but I'll tell you right now. For me personally, I thought it was about money to start. I've got money now. It's not about money. Right. It's about doing something that no one else has done and actually changing lives. That's what it means to me, and I think we are doing something special about it. And that's why I do this. For sure. I want to make an impact with people's lives.
And I think you are. You both are. Obviously, we all are at this point in time. I think that goes without being said. To continue down the kind of contractors running their own business, do you think there's some kind of caveat to, like, we see individuals who join our platform, and maybe they take one delivery and then don't take another delivery for a month, and then we have other drivers who join our platform and they're literally trying to take every single delivery they ever possibly can. Is there something to be said for understanding how to utilize specific platforms, and then also in turn with that, understanding what you're looking for out of these platforms, right? So like with our company specifically, a lot of our business started as pre-scheduled. So these drivers could schedule out, days, weeks, even months in advance sometimes. And other platforms, a lot of it was on demand. You could kind of come and take, deliveries as you choose. Is there anything you guys would like to say, to people, not even necessarily to our platform specifically, but just understanding, what you're looking for as a contractor and how that can help you really succeed on platforms?
Yeah, I would advise people to work backwards. And it starts with the overall goal. So for example, I'm going to use a probably standard one that people, use to drive, essentially, that they have to make income.
Right.
So if you need to make $5,000 a month, you need to work backwards. Okay, from how am I going to generate that revenue or that income? And you start mapping it out from the month to the week to the day, even to the hour, to where we are busy as all hell during the lunchtime. We get breakfast and dinner stuff, but our bread and butter is lunchtime.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe we're not the best platform to go all in with. And I would suggest drivers not do that. We are a great supplemental piece to your gig stack, but you got to work backwards. You could even apply that to, what do I have to earn in a year per month, week, day,
For sure.
hour, and just map it out. You know,
That's great advice.
Then you have it, hey, I only need to take 2 deliveries today to reach my weekly goal. But next day you wake up, well, shoot, I missed out on some today. Now I got to take like 5 or 6 or 7. So,
and I'd have
I'm
one.
about to take that home with me too.
Yeah, you guys should. Our average pay is right around $30 per delivery. So if you guys want to, if you guys want to make some extra cash, you know where to go.
Yeah.
But I would also piggyback off what I just said, and it's the consistency. If you're a consumer and you get an inconsistent service, there's nothing more frustrating.
For sure.
You can apply that to anything. If you don't know what you're getting when you go somewhere, when you order food, or when I don't know, just apply it to anything. You're not going to be satisfied.
Right. So
you got to be consistent.
Yeah, the Chick-fil-A, right?
Yeah.
That's the Chick-fil-A effect. You go to Chick-fil-A in Canton, Ohio, Jacksonville, Florida, Seattle, Washington. It's almost guaranteed you're getting the same experience. You're getting the same food.
Yep. And
it's probably one of my favorite brands at this moment in time to operate within. And I think that's why they're going to be doing so well. And hopefully we can as well.
Dude, they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
They're the only ones who do that. I'm going to say it. I don't know. I really don't usually talk bad about brands, but Chipotle was my go-to forever. And last time I had to go to two Chipotles to get the ingredients that I wanted, and it was a terrible burrito.
Now you got kind of there's supply chain issues. You know,
come on, man.
You know
Come
that.
on,
I'm just saying. And then the service there,
Somebody's got to tell the facts.
It was tough.
All right, service. That's
It was
we all
both.
know
they're controlling what they can control.
Yeah, just not that part, not the service part.
So, I really want to get into the future because we talked about it a little bit, but just the future of I mean honestly, like the economy in the world, the gig economy in itself is growing like at a tremendous rate. And what do you guys see for the business's future? What's next for drivers, for content wise, expansion wise? What do you guys see for the future of I guess us, but we can also go into the future of the gig economy in general as well.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that is a loaded question.
Yeah.
That is very broad.
It's a multi-parter right there.
I mean, you want to start with DeliverThat first?
Let's start. Yeah, let's start with let's start with DeliverThat.
Okay, so I will tell you this. We are in sort of like the technology, and Tristan, you know this. I mean, you're basically a programmer now. Okay, so you understand the way computers operate and work, and how autonomous they can really be, and how actually stupid they are. Computers are stupid. If you guys don't know this, they do exactly what they're told. So if you tell it something wrong, it's not going to fix it. That's just an inside joke.
Well, yeah, you got to learn the language.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so for DeliverThat, I mean, we are going to be the most driver-centric platform that you can imagine, and we're going to power last mile food delivery fulfillment, be the most qualified network of drivers you will ever find. And yeah.
See that? Yeah. I mean, that's powerful. And like, I feel like we talked about how drivers can optimize their day, all those kinds of things. And that kind of ties into it. It's like, why not try to show that kind of commitment? You know what I mean? In general, like, and whatever you're doing, it doesn't just have to be DeliverThat, but like, why not always try to do the best? Because that's what's going to build a better future. Just like you're saying, that is the future. So why not be a part of it?
Yeah. And now there is a level of, like I was talking about, like the tech age. I mean, unless DeliverThat pivots in some capacity at some point down the line, I'm not saying it's going to be, the next couple years, 10, 20, maybe 30 years from now, there'll be self-driving cars. Someone might develop a piece of hardware that at a drop off comes out of, kind of replaces that human part.
They have that in Tempe, Arizona.
Yeah. We might have to look at it, long term, like how you could pivot the business. Mm-hmm. But, for right now, we're extremely focused on serving our drivers and serving our customers.
And then what about the industry in general, right? So what about, like I said, the gig economy is growing. People want to work for themselves, and being an independent contractor on platforms is a great way to do that. And obviously look for the ones that treat them right. But what is the future you think for the gig economy? It seems like it's taking over the world.
Yeah, I think with COVID, people are now more used to ordering. They're more accustomed to having things delivered. Before, I know a lot of customers would be more content or they'd feel it was a safer decision if they would just go pick up the food themselves, right? And now it's a little different, and I think it's just propelling and getting people used to delivery. So now delivery is just becoming bigger than it ever has been, and I don't see why building trust in delivery is not going to continue to push more orders. I think that's just a natural piece. They built a lot of trust over that lockdown period, and now still dealing with COVID, the trust continues to build. So I would think that it's just going to continue to follow suit.
Not only the trust piece, it moved from a luxury to a necessity.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And I think you guys touched on this on a previous podcast as well. So, the opportunities in the gig economy are going to be plentiful. There's so many new delivery companies popping up, and they might, solve a specific niche or be very broad within the food service industry. There's not a lot of delivery as a service companies. There's a lot of marketplaces, a lot of logistics companies that, sort of do like the administrative side, and that kind of stuff. So I think the opportunities will get better. You're going to see a lot of innovation. Particularly when it comes to the food service, you're going to see smaller dining rooms for restaurants, more autonomous hardware systems in the actual kitchen, consolidation of sort of like the tech stacks that restaurants use. These are all happening right now. Yeah. And over the next couple of years, you're going to see a brand new identity to this food service industry.
Yeah. A lot of consolidation.
Oh yeah. I think today I literally just read that Fat Brands just acquired Fazoli's.
Yeah, Fazoli's. Yep, I did see that.
Congrats, Carl. By the way,
130.
Congrats, Carl.
It's big.
Carl's a good dude. Carl's a CEO, by the way.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Just to piggyback off that, as these companies continue to grow, and they're growing off of, I'm not going to say off the backs of the drivers, but off of a lot of effort from drivers, and that effort. Inside that effort, these drivers are going to be learning a lot of information on how to actually execute delivery. Mm-hmm. That's how we've been able to build this company and have success, is because we know what drivers actually deal with. I've taken the $5,000 orders and the customer isn't even there. Right? It's insane, right? Or you can't park and you have $5,000 of food, and we've dealt with that stuff, so we know how to actually relate. So I think these drivers and people in this gig economy are going to have a lot of valuable information that they could potentially go work for some of these DoorDashes, these Ubers, these companies like us.
These DeliverThats,
right? Yeah. I know if someone
within, baby.
If someone comes to us and says I have delivery experience, well, our ears perk up immediately, right? So it's a smaller learning curve. So I think you're just going to have, if you want to get out of the gig economy, you're going to have other opportunities to get into, I don't know, corporate America, if that's something you like. Maybe you don't have a college degree, but you're learning all this information. You're going to become more valuable as these companies get bigger.
Yeah, and two, with the gig economy in general, I kind of find it exciting because we've lived in this world from the industrial age where people do like work at specific hours. It's like they're in some in some sort of a cage all the time. The gig economy's given people the opportunity to create their own schedule, create their own hours, and honestly, I just hope to see that expand and grow in the future. Yep. Just to have platforms as a resource to make a living. Yep. And that's what I hope to provide to people.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think if you can bring value, then and you do it consistent, you do it well, then you should be paid for it. Yeah. If you're solving a problem, of course.
For sure. What I know you guys we've already passed over a little bit, but I wanted to go back a little ways. John, I know you said, delivery, the order processing became more apparent. Like customers got used to having to go online to order food, get it delivered. Mm-hmm. And Aaron, like you said, it became a necessity, not even a luxury, as there were shutdowns and everything like that. Do you think there's anything to be said for, obviously this isn't even really our realm, but setting like the customer expectations or restaurant expectations for how a process should go within third-party delivery? I guess in asking that, realistically, it's just the stigma, I guess, around third-party delivery, right? You see these major companies, either people love them or absolutely hate them. And, mm-hmm. It's fine. You don't have to teeter the line. I don't care. You can go one way or the other. But is there anything we can do to, bridge a gap here and, create outstanding relationships that in turn develop? I would love for third-party delivery to end up being a necessity in the restaurant world, right? Yeah. And it's obviously looked at as a piece to a puzzle, not a a little flimsy piece you got to jam in there and hope it sticks and hope it works. It's like, no, we're a piece to your puzzle. We're going to fit perfectly. We're going to do what you guys ask of us, and that's what it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let me take this one.
By all means.
So you're already seeing the shift. Okay, but yeah, you know how I truly feel about it? Listen, I'm not the biggest advocate for restaurants, and I'm not the biggest advocate for marketplaces. I'm an advocate for drivers, okay? Obviously, we service a lot of marketplaces, and we service a lot of restaurant brands, okay? What I will tell you is there is room for everyone to play in this industry. It's 100+ billion. I mean, probably hundreds of billions. I'm only talking about on-demand and catering, because, you know, you throw in grocery in there, meal prep, you know, you got the ghost kitchens now, you got route. I mean, there's so many different. Growing. Yeah, it's only growing. There's room for people. There's room for every segment, restaurants, marketplaces, and, you know, other types of companies in the future. What I will tell restaurants out there, something that they're not going to want to hear, is that, listen, marketplaces solved a problem. Okay. Right. They made it extremely easy for consumers like all of us to go on an app, see tons of options, pick exactly the way that we want it, pay on the spot, follow our order, and get it conveniently delivered right to our door. That was a problem that was solved. And it was shown during COVID, right? How important it was, the digital shift. Okay, so now you have restaurants who are operating. Not all, okay, I'm not going to group them all, okay? It's not all restaurants. A large portion of the restaurants were operating like they were in the 1990s. They did not have good tech stacks. They didn't have good quality delivery. They did it all in-house. They couldn't handle, you know, the fulfillment side. They couldn't handle the actual production side. So, which is why you've seen all these different third-party companies come in. We're a third-party company. We are a third-party delivery as a service company. We provide companies with drivers, okay? There is a big staffing issue right now. Right. So we're able to, you know, provide value somewhere.
Yeah, it's a means to an end.
So, you know, as a restaurant, you know, you're going to have to get used to working with third-party companies, unless you're a multi-billion-dollar company, which not a lot of restaurant groups are. Yeah. Not a lot of restaurants are. So, and I'll tell marketplaces too. With you guys have solved a big problem when it came from Easy Cater. Great example. They solved the problem of feeding the workplace. Okay, they're one of our biggest partners. I love working with them. Okay, they're phenomenal to work with. Okay, there's other marketplaces as well. Take DoorDash for example. Okay, they're more in the on-demand grocery convenience level. You know, of marketplace. But you know, something that they're not going to want to hear is, you know, their partners don't view them as partners. Right. They view them as almost cannibals.
Like a necessary evil.
Yeah, and that's we've heard that term so many, necessary evil. No, it's just another tool in your tool shed, man. It's just that's how the restaurants have to view a marketplace. They are another tool. You don't go all in with them, but they can provide a lot of value for you.
For sure.
They really can. Between not even the marketplace aspect, they can provide a consolidated, almost, you know, one tool for running an entire restaurant operation, even with off-premise, you know, included, online. I mean, everything you can imagine. So, I would tell everyone just to take a deep breath. Number one, and that there's room for everyone in this space. There really is. And
one other thing, definitely room for everyone, but you should really perfect what you're good at, right? For us, we're not a tech company, right? Yes, we do everything through tech, but we're really good at understanding drivers and working with drivers.
Right.
Restaurants create good food. When it comes to a delivery, you got to have it on time. Treat the driver like they work for you, because they do. Yeah. Right? They're taking your food out of the store.
They might not directly work for you, but they're representing your brand.
Right?
That's a great point.
So treat them like they're on your team, right? And treat these orders with priority, because that customer might come back. So just do those things right. And then that'll allow you to build the tech. It'll allow you to do the other stuff. But if you can't do that, you know, a good website's not going to solve your problem.
Yeah. Right. I think I dodged with your last piece. Consumers, though, right?
Obviously, the customer expectations as well, right? Yeah. You got anything for that?
Vote with your dollar.
Oh yeah.
If you have a bad, that's a saying I picked up from John. Vote with your dollar. If you have a bad experience, or over and over the same company, you know, you probably should stop spending money with them and look for an alternative.
Right.
You know, so the expectations, and also if you're a consumer and you order delivery, look, I ordered delivery. I get my groceries delivered. I'm super lazy when it comes to shopping. I get my groceries delivered, and I probably get DoorDash once a week, once every 2 weeks. Stuff is going to be late. There's going to be missing items.
For sure.
It happens. Have you ever been to a restaurant and they forgot your item?
Oh,
Have you ever been to a restaurant and they charge you a little bit extra or charge you less? It's the same concept, man.
Right.
We're humans.
Yep.
We're not perfect. So pump the brakes. Don't just go all Karen on people. And just have realistic expectations as we navigate, this big shift that's happening from luxury to necessity.
Yeah, until the restaurant's just putting the order in a Tesla and it's coming to your door.
No free ads.
Humans are
no free ads.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's all right. There's no charging stations in Cleveland anyway. But regardless.
Oh, yeah, there is. What about me?
Yeah, one. But yeah, I mean, to me, it's take your experiences with a grain of salt. But if it's a consistent thing, then just go somewhere else.
Hey, man, there's a reason why I will only get delivery from a few places.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
And I know we say no free ads, but Chipotle is a great example. John might not might not have
I'll take a month break.
Yeah.
Or something.
They're one of the only 1 or 2 companies I will actually order delivery from because it is as consistent on time. They haven't been on time every time, but it's overall a pleasant experience for the most part.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, do you have any broad questions we want to touch on? That's pretty much all I got from these guys. I know I do obviously just want to wrap up and kind of rehash and make sure, we're bringing this, like we said at the beginning, this is a podcast, similar to our companies, for drivers, by drivers, for drivers, whichever way you want to say it. Are there things you guys specifically want to see out of a podcast that we're bringing to light for these individuals? Are there things you think these contractors are going to want to see brought to light, want to see discussed, or things you guys envision for this podcast as well?
Definitely off the bat, I want to hear from the drivers.
Right.
Comment under the video, and
please subscribe, like, comment.
Yeah, I mean, ideas that you guys have, topics that you think I don't know, you could use some help with. I don't know, navigating tough situations on deliveries. I mean, there's so many different things. But off the top of my head, I think money stuff, tax stuff, how to prepare yourself as like a business owner. I think those
Tangibles.
things.
No tax advice. We're not CPAs.
Yeah, definitely not going to get.
Well, not from us. Maybe somebody who we can bring on.
Yeah, we're not going to give anybody tax advice.
Yeah, maybe a CPA that comes on. Who knows? But real tangible things. I think that drivers who do actually want to take this thing serious could use. The ones who are using this as just a bridge or, I don't know, a means to an end, then that's completely fine. But if you take this thing serious, then I think this should be the podcast for you.
For sure.
Something that I'm looking forward to in any capacity, whether you're a DeliverThat driver or not, I'm looking to collaborate and have a conversation. And
For sure.
I want to put, myself in your shoes and understand your view of the gig economy, as well as, have a productive conversation. You can ask Jim. I welcome a call with any individual that asks within reason. If you have a podcast, happy to go on and talk. If you have a show, whatever. I just love this industry and I love talking about it because I think what we're doing here is we're taking a different angle that not any other third-party delivery company really is. So that's what I'm looking for, is just collaboration.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, we definitely appreciate you guys coming on to collaborate on this podcast.
No, anytime, man.
Yeah. It was awesome. Yeah, I know we have some plans in the works too to dive further into the DT history, maybe a separate podcast aside from this.
Be on the lookout.
I know there's story after
we could,
story
yeah,
after
we could
story.
almost, dude.
So
you could have a season.
Yeah, we can
We
talk
only
about that.
touched like the
Right.
tip of the iceberg, of like the store behind it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we only touched the first 3 years, and we have
Part of
5
it.
You didn't even touch like the good parts in those 3 years.
Yeah.
I gave you the very
Yeah.
Cliff Notes, very Cliff Notes version.
Yeah.
So there's a
stories.
lot more. There's a lot more to our story.
Oh, man.
It's just a lot more. So
We
All
did
right,
it.
so we'll expect these guys back then. right?
Yeah,
That's all
please.
you have.
Absolutely. Mhm.
All right. Well, thank you guys. We'll wrap this up, and we'll see you guys next time.
Of course.
thanks for having us, guys.
Thank you.
I mean, what a way to kick it off,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, the conversation, like we said, went longer than we expected, but I mean, the information was just so valuable.
For sure. And I think for me personally, I knew a lot of those stories, which is kind of why I was like, poking and prodding to get more info out of them on some of them. But
Yeah,
I mean, just rehashing a lot of that stuff. You know, obviously you've been here. I think you're going on year 3. I'm going on year 4. So for the most part, we've been here, both of us, since
It's really lifted
the
off.
beginning of DeliverThat. So to like have a discussion with them about like how it actually started down in Athens, you know, moving back to Canton, and where it's expanded from there is just kind of unbelievable and surreal to even be able. I mean, we're 5 years later, and we're a multi-million-dollar revenue, you know, generating revenue business. I mean, we're
known in the industry.
Yeah, we're in over 90 cities across the United States, still in Vancouver, Canada. I mean, it's just wild to put a perspective on where it all started and then have a conversation about where you think it's going to go.
I know, and it kind of too speaks volumes because, like, you know, you went to school, you know, with these two guys,
right?
And to see, like, they explained where it started in OU to where it is now, I don't know, it just speaks volumes for anybody who just wants to make their dreams come true. I mean, it starts so. They're just grinding. It's so sloppy always, you know, in the beginning, and and then things just slowly start to come together. More people get on, you know, onboarded into the company, and everything just kind of finds its way because, you know, some people believed in a vision, and now multiple people believe in a vision.
Sure.
So
right, it's almost like a thing like you know, you hear nowadays like the American dream is dead, and it's like, well, those guys started this business in a dorm room in 10-degree weather in Athens, Ohio, which is literally a minuscule city with, I don't know how many thousands of people. It's smaller than Canton, where we are now. And it's like, what dream's dead? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you're the only one that can kill your dreams. Like, for sure.
Yeah. If you want to put the effort behind it, you want to bet on yourself, which I know they did over and over and over, you know, you'll hopefully get the results you want. And I think they definitely have proven to a large amount of people in our lives and their lives and around the world that, you know, if you put your mind to it, you really can do it.
And there's no better way, like I had said in the beginning before this podcast, that we could have kicked this off. Everybody gets a little taste, a little flavor of DeliverThat, some of the history, and there's probably going to be more and more of that to come. But just get ready. I mean, this is just the beginning, and we're so excited to have all you guys on board with us listening.
For sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, I think there is going to be an extended version of that interview. I think we did about an hour in that take, and I know we only touched on like the first, you know, year and a half. Like,
they said that too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they were like, well, yeah, I think Aaron said like, yeah, man, we're not even like touching like the tiniest base of it, which we really did not. There are so many other stories, especially about about your time and, you know, Christian's time, Darian's time, Leighton's time, Nate's time, since they've been here in the past year, 2 years, that things have changed so much. So there's so many more stories that we're going to be able to bring to you guys and share with you guys. How those will be released is a TBA kind of situation, but I know we'll get those to you guys in due time. And if you want to see them, please let us know. I'm sure we can work on those sooner than later. I know you guys want to see perspectives from other people at the company, other people we work with day in and day out, and we will have those folks on the podcast at some point in time. So
yeah, well, there's going to be catering, restaurant managers, there's going to be drivers, there's going to be all kinds of stuff. So stay tuned. That's all I can say. Stay tuned, because this is going to be the place for information when it comes to being an independent contractor. We are for drivers, by drivers.
By drivers, for drivers.
By drivers, for drivers.
Either way.
Yeah, either way. But yeah, we just like butcher our own slogan. Just like, welcome to the podcast.
You're a little tongue-tied sometimes.
Yeah. But we really are, and that's what they had to say in that interview. And just stay tuned, because we're going to try to bring you the most crucial information that we can.
For sure. Of course, guys. Thanks so much for coming and viewing or listening to episode 1 of Delivering More. I think the link is live, so Jim should be able to put it in the bottom of the video. IDeliverThat.com/podcast. You will be able to submit questions, submit to be a guest, submit to get onboarded to the platform almost instantaneously. You'll get a call from one of our driver relations reps, I imagine like next day or even same day at times. Yeah. And from there, you know, please let us know and give us feedback on what you want to see, what you don't want to see, what's good, what's bad, what's ugly, what's beautiful. You know, we really do want to keep you guys involved, because this is for you guys, right? We are doing this to promote our brand in some case, but realistically it's to make sure you guys are provided as much value as possible and hear conversations amongst people that are all in the industry, right? Like Tristan said, we're going to be talking to catering sales managers. We're going to be talking to C-suite individuals. We're going to be talking to drivers who are currently on our platform taking multiple deliveries a day. So
yeah, and it's just really, really fun.
Right. Yeah, just getting the vantage point from all these different individuals who operate in our industry on a daily basis is, I don't know. I have a tough time imagining how that wouldn't be helpful to a lot of people, but you never know. So
yeah,
please let us know. Leave us feedback, comment on the YouTube page, leave comments, ask questions on the website link, and we will see you guys every Friday for the foreseeable future. So thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next week.
Over and out.